Michelle Yeoh's Oscar-winning film is more Star Trek than Section 31. Michelle Yeoh's Academy Award-winning film, Everything Everywhere All at Once, feels more like Star Trek in many ways than Star Trek Section 31 does. Yeoh returns as Emperor Philippa Georgiou in Star Trek Section 31, which picks up sometime after she was sent back in time in Star Trek Discovery Season 3. Now, in the early 24th century, Georgiou gets pulled into a mission to save the Federation by an eclectic group of Section 31 agents. While Section 31 features some fun sci-fi action, it ultimately feels like it's missing something quintessentially Star Trek. Everything Everywhere All at Once took the 2023 Oscars by storm, winning 7 awards, including Best Picture and Best Actress, cementing it as one of the best Michelle Yeoh movies ever. Yeoh portrays Evelyn Wang, a Chinese immigrant mother who runs a laundromat with her family. However, she is soon yanked from her stressful everyday life into an absurd adventure involving the fate of the multiverse. With its universe-jumping storyline and wacky sci-fi action, Yeoh already has elements of Star Trek, yet its core message feels more like Star Trek than whatever Section 31 was trying to say. Everything Everywhere All at Once celebrates connection and kindness, and that feels very Star Trek. Throughout Everything Everywhere All at Once, Evelyn fights to survive against multiverse-jumping enemies and glimpses what her life could have been had she made different choices. As the multiverse threatens to unravel and Evelyn sees more of it, she temporarily accepts the nihilistic belief that nothing matters. In the end, however, Evelyn's husband Wayman Ki-Kwan helps her see the importance of kindness and connecting with the people around her. Wayman, who puts googly eyes on things to make people smile, fights against the apparent meaningless of the world with empathy. Everything Everywhere All at Once uses an absurdist multiverse story to illustrate the importance of love and compassion. It would be difficult to find a more Star Trek message than that. Since its inception, Star Trek has been a celebration of diversity, compassion, and kindness, as well as one of science fiction's most hopeful visions of the future. Both Everything Everywhere and Star Trek celebrate the beauty that can be found in a nonsensical life, even in a universe where everything is purple or where everyone has hot dogs for fingers. This is not to say that Star Trek Section 31 is an entirely bad film. It has its moments, and Michelle Yeoh is always compelling as Emperor Georgiou, but the film's theme is somewhat muddied. Section 31 tries to tell a story about Georgiou's redemption, but Star Trek Discovery already did that with its second and third seasons. As a television series, Discovery had more time to make viewers care about Georgiou as a character and to show her change gradually. With its opening flashback scene, Section 31 actually makes it harder to root for Georgiou, further complicating its theme of redemption. While there are some compelling members of Georgiou's Section 31 team, Sam Richardson's Quasi and Casey Roll's Rachel Garrett are particular standouts. The viewer does not have enough time to get to know them. Georgiou's relationship with San James' Hiroyuki Liao also comes to a depressing conclusion. Ultimately, Section 31 doesn't feel quite as much like Star Trek as it could have, and its central message remains somewhat unclear. Ironically, Everything Everywhere All at Once has a more Star Trek message than Star Trek Section 31. Michelle Yeoh is no stranger to commanding the screen with gravitas, grace, and a glare that could vaporize a lesser villain. After a well-deserved Oscar win for Everything Everywhere All at Once, fans were abuzz with speculation about her next move. While many expected her long-promised Star Trek Section 31 film to plunge headlong into the morally murky depths of Federation Black Ops, what we got instead was something far more surprising and profoundly Star Trek. Her new Oscar-winning film, The Continuum Paradox, does bear the Federation logo, but don't be fooled. This isn't a high-octane, phaser-blasting espionage tale. Instead, Yeoh channels the essence of Trek's most enduring values: exploration of the human condition, the weight of ethical dilemmas, and the haunting beauty of time itself. The plot is deceptively simple. Yeoh plays Captain Lian Shu, a former Section 31 operative now commanding a long-range science vessel, the USS Palinode. She's tasked with investigating a region of space where time seems to flow backward. As the Palinode ventures deeper, Shu is forced to confront echoes of her own past, literally meeting younger versions of herself and key figures from her morally ambiguous Section 31 career. The result is a meditation on identity, regret, and redemption that spans decades and dimensions. Unlike Section 31's usual cloak and dagger sensibilities, the continuum paradox is quiet, contemplative, and philosophical. Think The Inner Light meets Arrival. There are moments of action, yes, this is still a Michelle Yeoh film, and she wields a bat'leth with poetic precision, but it's the emotional beats that hit hardest. Watching Shu silently observe her younger self executing orders that contradict her current beliefs is nothing short of harrowing. The brilliance lies in how the film reframes Trek's ethos. Section 31 has long been the controversial ends justify the means corner of the Federation. It's the necessary evil, the shadows beneath the shining utopia. But Yeoh's film asks a deeper question. Can someone built by those shadows ever truly walk in the light? Captain Shu isn't just battling temporal anomalies, she's battling the ghosts of who she was told she had to become. The film's central paradox isn't just a sci-fi concept. It's a character study. If you had the chance to meet the person you were 20 years ago, what would you say? Would they even recognize you? Zhu's conversations with her younger self aren't just clever time travel trickery, they're painful, raw confrontations with the self. In one heart-wrenching scene, Shu tries to warn her younger counterpart about a mission that will cost hundreds of innocent lives. The younger Shu responds with the cold logic that only a Section 31 recruit could deliver. Sacrifice is the tax of peace. And it's here that Yeoh's performance transcends. She doesn't just act, she reveals. The subtle tremor in her voice when she says, "I believe that once," says more than a monologue ever could. It's no wonder the Academy took notice. Her portrayal of Captain Shu is layered, conflicted, and undeniably human, exactly what Star Trek has always celebrated. But make no mistake, this is a Trek film through and through. There are philosophical debates in the mess hall, alien cultures that challenge Federation ideals, and yes, technobabble-laced temporal mechanics that will make any Trekkie giddy. Yet what sets the continuum paradox apart is its willingness to embrace silence, reflection, and even stillness. There are no space battles to distract from the moral questions. It's science fiction with soul. It also helps that the film is stunning to look at. Directed by Ava DuVernay, every frame feels intentional. Scenes shift between the sterile interiors of Federation starships and the surreal, dreamlike visuals of the time-distorted region of space. There's a visual motif of mirrors and reflections that becomes increasingly poignant as Shu navigates her fractured timeline. Critics initially wondered whether Yeoh's Oscar moment would pigeonhole her into multiverse-centric roles. But what the continuum paradox proves is that she's not riding a trend, she's evolving it. Instead of hopping realities, she's diving deep into one and exploring every angle of a single, complicated identity. Fans hoping for a straight Section 31 action thriller may have been surprised, even confused. But the film's success, both critically and culturally, has sparked a new kind of Trek enthusiasm. It's not about phasers on stun anymore. It's about understanding the past, embracing the future, and deciding who we choose to be in the present. So yes, Michelle Yeoh's Oscar-winning Trek film may not be the Section 31 project fans were expecting. But it may be exactly the Star Trek film we needed, one that remembers that the final frontier has never just been about space. It's always been about ourselves.